Hello friends, my name is Dr. Victor Loria. I want to discuss with you certain male enhancement topics of interest. Many patients and some spouses will ask the question, what girth size penis is most satisfying? Okay? Not the easiest question to answer. However, I could tell you from doing about 10,000 procedures to date, interviewing patients. When they come back, I ask them how everything is, and they get to a certain size. They come back for a second treatment. I ask how everything is, how are they satisfying their partner, and they'll come in for a third treatment and so forth. So for example, their girth could be starting at an average of 5 inches, right? We measure circumference around this way. So an erect 5-inch circumference is roughly average. Now, let's say that patient after one treatment gets a size of 5 3/4 to 6 inches in girth, right? So they've increased almost an inch, let's say, in girth after their first treatment. And I'll ask them when they come in, how does it feel? What does your spouse or partner say about it? Usually I get a good report. It's like, oh, she felt it was more exciting, it was more pleasurable, and so forth. Now, when they come in for a second treatment, that will bring them up to about 6.5 in girth. That's a substantial change from 5. Now, when they come back to me, even for a third, and before I even start the third, I say, okay, John, we'll just say John as a patient's name. I say, you went from 5 to 5 3/4, then you went from 5 3/4 to 6.5, right? And I'll say, how's everything going? Usually, when we get into the 6.5 to 7.5 range of girth, we recognize that there's optimal stimulation. Okay, there's some exceptions to that, and we're going to go over that, but generally 6.5 to 7.5 inches in circumference seems to be optimal. Now, how do I know this? Is because I ask my patients, right? When they come in and they're in that range, I get phenomenal reviews. Now, of course, we have the odd situations where I had a patient come in. He was 9 inches in girth, right? We got him to 9. 9 is like that, okay, very, very large, okay. And I said to him, I said, John, what are you doing here? Basically, I had to say it. I had to say that. Where is he going with this, right? He's 9 inches already. And he said to me, well, I want to be 9 1/4. I said, 9 1/4? I couldn't figure why that 1/4 inch was so important. Now, what I'm thinking is that maybe he and his spouse use a toy that's maybe 9 1/4, and that's perfect for them. Now, it might not sound like a big difference, but 9 to 9 1/4 actually is a significant change. So, of course, we did the treatment and we've achieved that goal. Now, another odd situation is that it was kind of a funny little story. I had a patient come in with, again, a 9-inch circumference. And I was joking with him. I said, John, it looks like there's a baby over here, like a newborn baby sitting in between his legs, So we joke around like that. So I said, well, John, what are you doing here? I say that to guys that are huge. It's just beyond this 6.5 to 7.5. I said, John, what do the women say when they see this thing? He says, well, my girlfriend now says she wants to untie her tubes and have my baby. Now, what does that mean? It just so happens that his size of 9 seems to fit very well with his partner, right? But a 9 I wouldn't recommend because you're not going to fit that everywhere. Okay, I kind of kid around. These two stories are true, these two patients. However, it was custom tailored to their partners. So, for example, if you were to get an enlargement and you're not sure the size, there's 2 ways to go about it. Number one, have a couple of treatments, get into the 6.5 range to 7.5, and see if that's your endpoint, right? Your spouse may say, wow, that's great, okay? Or, before you even have a treatment, you can get some penile models they have, right, for sexual pleasure, intercourse, all that. And you can actually get models with certain sizes and test them on your partner. I've had some patients do that, and they would say to me, I want to be exactly 7 3/4. I said, how do you know that? They said, well, they got a model, and a smaller one, a medium size, a large one, and they were introducing that into the vaginal canal space, and the female partner would say, hey, that's a great size, that feels great. So there's no mystery to what size is best for that partner. So that's not a bad idea either. Okay, I've had that happen. So what girth size is most satisfactory would be a range of 6.5 to 7.5. Then from there, you would have to custom tailor that size as needed for your partner.